never give in. Never, never, never.
Hi, welcome to the Ferndown auxiliary unit bunker. We're here at a dig that's been supported by Dorset Council, digging out the remains of an auxiliary unit bunker from World War II. We've been digging over this on a number of days, and we thought we'd just like to see some of the finds that we've got so far. If I can take you up to the entrance shaft to begin with. If we look down into the shaft, we've got a shaft that was built about 6 feet deep. On the right hand side of the shaft we've got a concrete counterweight with a metal bar coming out of it. This counterweight would have pivoted halfway up the wall and would have raised a concealed roof upwards to pivot round to the side and allow the men down into the shaft. It would have been hidden during the war so that nobody would have been able to see it, and unfortunately that part of the mechanism seems to have gone, but we found the counterweight mechanism still intact. Where we are at the end here, there's also a pipe that can be seen coming out of the wall, just down past the counterweight, just above the dark line. We can see the pipe coming out of the wall, and that's a water pipe. Now if we follow across the trench here, we'll see where the water pipe came from. Just for a moment, ignore these pipes here on the surface, because the pipe we're interested in tracks under the ground and tracks down to this metal water tank. This water tank was found buried, initially found by metal detectors, and it's such a big metal target. And what we can see at the end here is that we've got a cap over a metal shaft that runs into the tank with a twist cap on the surface. And around it we've got half of a hollow concrete block. And presumably during the war there had been some kind of cap or lid on this that would have concealed it and hidden it from the general public walking past, or indeed any searching Germans. Unscrewing this would have allowed the patrol to fill up their supply of fresh water, which would have been kept safely in this nice metal tank, and then presumably there would have been a tap in the main shaft that would allow them to drain off the water for drinking when they needed it. If we come back to these pipes again for a minute, what we've got here is 2 runs of glazed ceramic pipes. These pipes you can see joined end to end with cement joints. These are running out of the main chamber, which is in this direction. We'll take you there in a moment. These pipes would have been for ventilation. We think that this one here was just coming to the end, and there would have been some type of box just where I'm standing that would have allowed the air into the ventilation pipe, or indeed out of the ventilation pipe. The system that they had was pipes at the top of the shaft with warm air rising and running out of them. At the bottom of the bunker there'd have been pipes for cold air, which would have been drawn in by convection currents taking the hot air out the top, and that would have provided fresh air to the staff in the bunker. So here we are at the top of the main chamber. I'm standing just over where the roof would have been. If we look down the section here, we can see some rubbish in the wall here, where we can see where the collapsed chamber has been partially backfilled over the years. And if I just point out to you just further down here, we've got this pipe would have been through the wall, where you can see the hollow block. The pipe would have run through the wall there, and then it's actually sunk down a little bit on the far side, but you can see it extending away, and this is another of the ventilation pipes coming out of the bunker. I'll take you now into the main chamber. Again, I've got 2 runs of pipes running either side of me here. These are coming down the side and would have twisted in to sit over the top of the bunker. And actually here we found, coming out of the shaft that had been tossed in, one of the blocks that would have sat at the top of the chamber. If I just tip it up here, we can see the corrugations on the bottom side in the concrete where it sat on top of the roof. And as we come down, this is a hollow concrete block that's had 2 pipe ends set into it. And this was likely one of the junction ends of the 2 pipes that we see running in here, and would have sat somewhere under this concrete slab. We think this concrete slab was placed in about the 1990s, maybe 92, when the council backfilled a number of holes in the chamber that were being used by children to access it. The children were climbing inside and there was worry about them endangering themselves, and so it was filled in. If we move further up the bunker now, got more concrete pipes. This one here is one of the few where we've found the maker's name marked out on it. Here we've got Stotam, which we think stands for Stoneware Limited of Tamworth, showing that the pipes were brought in by the army from quite some distance. So here we are looking at the main chamber, spreading back away from me here. We'd have had something that looked like a Nissen hut. And we've got collapsing in sections here. We're not quite sure why it's collapsing. It will take further excavation to work that out. So it's collapsed in, but what we can see is that we've got a small end chamber, and we've got a void coming down to it here, where the corrugated iron's been pulled back here just to expose it. And we've got a narrow chamber just a metre or so wide, perhaps where they had a Elson toilet for the men that were staying in the bunker. There's a doorway running through on this line here, and that then heads through into an escape tunnel. And actually, if we look at these pink flashes here, they mark the line of the escape tunnel heading backwards behind me. If we come around on this side, we can actually see, looking inside this trench, we can see down to the end wall of the entire bunker, and actually we have got a ventilation pipe coming out of the end wall that exits just over the top of the escape tunnel. The escape tunnel then travels about another 25 yards. So in this trench here, what we have is the escape hatch of the tunnel. We're slightly lower down in the main chamber, and we've got a square hatch built of hollow concrete blocks. And what we've got on top of it is a solid concrete slab. Some of my colleagues have had a go at trying to break some of this up, but we think it's very big and very thick and not going to move anytime soon. But that's covering an escape exit from the tunnel, which will allow the men to escape and head off downhill, getting a head start on the Germans pursuing them.